bringing aluminum foil or buying it for. But it's the most unusual call I can think of. That's PG-13.
Okay. What's the most dangerous call you've ever gotten?
Wow, there's quite a few. Nothing really here, but in Dallas, I got a shots fired call. I was down the street from my station at the time. I was stationed in North Central Division. As I'm going that way, I can hear the shots going off. As I pull into the parking lot, this gentleman is shooting this guy, his last 3 rounds in his gun.
Oh, wow.
So I drew down on him. It was kind of a standoff for a minute, you know, but you want to give it up. The sad thing about it is that this guy that was shot and killed, we had gotten calls there previously over the last 6 or 7 months, and this husband who got shot and killed was beating his wife, and we could never catch him. And when I mean he was beating his wife, he was beating her to where she was unrecognizable. And her brother was the one that shot and killed this dude. They kept telling him, when we tried to set up on him, we would try to catch him. I mean, we would sit up for hours trying to catch this dude. If we didn't catch him at home, he would catch her somewhere at a supermarket in another city. So we were really looking for this dude. I really wanted this dude pretty bad, but it's unfortunate that he lost his life by the hands of her brother. So, but it's kind
Were
of
you part of the big shooting in Dallas down?
Yes, I actually was down there, downtown, when those officers were shot and killed.
Okay.
Oh, that case.
Yeah, so that one for me is still a hard one because I lost 4 good friends, and one of those guys was my classmate.
Sorry I brought it up.
You know, it's still hard for me to deal with. It's still hard to see his face like that, you know, so I don't really talk about it very much anymore. So just one of those things that, you know, it's going on 5 years now, it'll be 5 years, and I still have a hard time with it. Me and him were pretty tight. We graduated together. I mean, we did everything with our families together. I mean, we were brothers. You know, went everywhere together, did a lot of things together, went on trips together. So to be downtown and to see the chaos like that and to see him like that, not only just him, but 2 of my other buddies were there, shot and killed when I got there. So that's just something I can't get out of my head. So it's just day to day dealing with that. But it's one of those things as a police officer, you got to put it in the back of your mind. You got to keep moving on because at the end of the day, people still out here need your help. So it's always good to have a clear mind when you come to work every day.
Sorry for your loss.
No, thank you.
Sorry.
How's it working in Corinth to this day?
It's a blessing. It's like night and day. This is like the utopia for happiness, you know. And I love the people here in Corinth. It's don't get me wrong. There's good people in Dallas, but it is just on a different scale here. You know, people when you see them, they wave with all their fingers. Not like Dallas, waving with one finger. You know what I mean? And so it's a different mentality there, but it's just rough. It's a concrete jungle. There's a lot going on. The pace is a lot faster. So when I came to Corinth, which is crazy because one of my other buddies who's working here, he tried to get me to come here. I was like, nah, I'm not coming to Corinth. But I came out and I rode out with him. I was like, man, this is great, man. This is a different pace. You know, because I was a fugitive detective before I came here, which I was the last 7 years. So just getting out of that environment was the best thing for me. Not only that, my wife had begged me for 2 years to leave because after that whole July 7th thing, she was done with it. She's like, we can't take it anymore. It's time for you to go. So I was just like, probably the best thing for me and my family. So when I got up here, I think it was the first year here, I've been in love with it ever since. So I'm going on 3 years now, so it's
Nice.
been good.
Nice. What do you do to prepare for work?
Well, I shower, I shave. You know what? Every day I get up, I've been doing this for 20 years. I always picture the worst case scenarios before I come to work. I do it all the time. I've done it when I was in football. Anytime I've done any type of sports or anything, or especially just at work in general, I always picture myself in the worst case scenarios. And I do that for a reason, is because that when those worst case scenarios arise, I'm already prepared for them.
I should start doing that.
I tell my kids that every time they play soccer, you know, picture out the worst case scenario and how you're gonna fix it. You know, whether they're playing basketball, vision what's gonna happen if this happens, or vision what happens if you get a rebound, what are you gonna do next? You know, just put yourself in these positions ahead of time, that way you're prepared for them when they come. So that's what I do every single day. Mentally, I do it so much I don't even think about it. Sometimes my wife is like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just getting ready for work. She knows I do it all the time, so that's the thing. Sorry.
It's fine. But I need to start doing that because usually when things don't go out as well, you can ask any of my friends, I blow up in
Right.
rage. I need to start doing that.
I'll tell you what, it's the best thing I've ever done, and I've been doing that since I was in high school.
Mhm.
You know, one of my coaches, his name is Dan D'Antoni. His brother is actually Mike D'Antoni, who used to coach the Rockets. You ever heard of him? Used to Rockets, Mike D'Antoni. Well, his brother's my high school coach, and that's something I learned from him. And I do that in everything I do. Whether if I'm driving to the store, I'm like thinking the worst case scenario, what's gonna happen? Is somebody gonna pull out in front of me? So I'm always prepared for the worst. So I've advised anybody to do that. That's just me.
What is it like dealing with criminals every day?
No, you know what? I've been doing this for a long time. Here's my thing. If you treat people like you want people to treat your mom, you get a lot of respect. You know? So it's just one of those things that when I'm on the street and I'm dealing with someone, if you're giving them respect, they usually give it right back. And even if they don't, I don't even take it personal. It is what it is. It's like a cat and mouse game. They're out doing bad things, our job is to go catch them, you know? Their job is to try to get away from us. So, it's the same. I mean, it's a little different here. You know, when I was in Dallas, we would get car chases all the time and getting foot chases all the time. You know, you're chasing robbery suspects, and burglary suspects, and, you know, people have attempted murder or people have killed people. I used to get the biggest adrenaline rush. I mean, I'd get so happy, like ecstatic, like I was playing, like I used to play college football. I lose my mind. I just want to go out and just catch people, man. So it's just, mentality is totally different here. But that's the thing about coming from a bigger city. You're always prepared for that, even if you're in a smaller city. You know, it's no different. I will say this, like I used to get in car chases in Dallas. I was so used to that, so I'd be on my phone texting and driving and calling my buddies, hey man, you see the news? I'm chasing this dude. Like, is that you? That's me, man. You know? That's not normal for most police officers to do that. You know, so it's just like, even when, I think we got a stolen car here last year, and I wound up finding it over here off of Shady Shores and Swisher, wound up getting behind the stolen car, and, you know, after it was all said and done, one of the officers was like, you sound so bored when you did that. I was like, dude, I did that like 1,000 times in Dallas. It's no different. You can tell the difference between people who've done it for a while.
And people are like just
Because
starting.
they sound like girls on the radio. They're screaming, I got someone, I need help. It's totally different. When you've done it for a while, it's just like talking like Barry White on the radio. You know what I mean? It's just real smooth. And that's the whole thing about when you're doing stuff like that. If you're so high-paced and so hyped, the officers are trying to get there to you, or,
They won't understand.
well, one, they
No.
won't understand, but, I was about to say something, but one, they won't understand, but then they'll be in a rush trying
Right.
to get there. The calmer you are, the calmer they are trying to get to you. Because here's the thing, is that your cover's no good to you if they don't make it. So that's why it's always good to just be calm when you're on the radio. That way they're calm and they're on their way to help you. So I've seen so many officers wreck out trying to get to someone who's screaming on the radio when it's not even that necessary. You know, so it's good to just be smooth. Like when you're talking to girls, you know what I'm saying? It's no different. It's no different.
Yeah. What is your opinion on society right now?
Oh man, I tell you what, it's definitely taking a turn, for sure. You know, it's sad because it's like we're public enemy number one.
Yeah.
You know, and my opinion on that is, regardless of the circumstances, that's never going to change for me. No matter how people think police are, that's still not going to change who I am. It's not going to change how I do things. It's not going to change how I treat people. Like I said, treat people like you want people to treat your mother. That's something my father taught me when he was a police officer, taught my brother who was a police officer, taught my cousins who are police officers. I come from a huge line of police officers in my family. So that is never gonna change. You know, my thing is this, is that you just gotta keep chopping wood. What I mean by that is just continue to try to make change. Still go out here and treat people with respect, no matter what. You know, I can't even tell you how many times I've been cussed out, and I mean, people have said the worst things to me, and I've never changed. And I've had people apologize to me. I'm sorry. I've had people cry, You know, just like, I'm sorry I treated you that way. I'm like, it's okay. I'm not gonna change. It's not gonna make me mad because you're mad at me. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's the most important thing. I think I wish people would start to understand, to listen to facts and just not opinions, and get half the story. And that's what the media is portraying a lot. We're only getting half the facts on most of the stuff, and we're reacting to that stuff. You know, instead of just being smart enough to just think things on your own, you know, and figure it out and educate yourself, and, you know, put yourself in a position when you have more knowledge. Because knowledge is power. People don't realize that knowledge is power. But if I'm just going off something, what you said, that happened in the media, and I didn't even check it out for myself or get the facts, and then another person does that, and then another person does that, look where we're at right now. So, but just like this whole election thing, everyone has a right to their own opinions to this whole election. I see people who are upset because some people voted for Trump and some people voted for Biden. You know, I got family members that stop talking to each other over it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's their opinion. Everyone should have a right to their own opinion, and everyone should have a right to respect that. So I think once we start getting back on that track of respecting each other, you know, because there's only one race as far as I'm concerned. The
Human.
human race. Why is it? Doesn't matter what color you are, what language you speak, what you look like, whether you're short, tall, we're all humans. So
What did you do to get this job?
showed up.
Showed up.
Showed up. Nah. Like I said, a friend of mine who I worked with in Dallas in my unit, was working here before I got here. So I was on my way home from work, got off early. He told me to stop by. I stopped by. I met up with Captain Tyson. This building was still under construction when I came, and he showed me around, and I was like, man, it's pretty nice. Meanwhile, I'd already had a job somewhere else. I was leaving Dallas. I already got hired on. So when I came over here, I was like, man, this is really, really nice. You know, and a couple of my buddies were working here. I was like, man, this is really, really nice. So Captain Tyson was like, hey, if you can get your PHS packet in on Sunday, we'll get you hired by Tuesday. Well, I was starting another job on Wednesday. I was like, there ain't no way. There's just no way that's gonna happen. That doesn't happen. I handed in my packet to him on Monday. I came in on Tuesday, did my interview. I interviewed with the chief and did my physical, and before the end of the day, I was hired. So I had to call this other chief, and he was like, hey, Tank, you ready to start tomorrow? I was like, yeah, let's talk about that. The answer is no, I'm going somewhere else. So he wasn't happy about it, but you know, at the end of the day, it was the best move I ever made, and me and him are still pretty good friends. So that's how I wound up here in Corinth. So I'm very happy with my choice. Very happy.
Thank you for your time,
Thank you for your time.
and hopefully I get 100 on this. Hopefully.
You better get 100 on it.